with the Bhagavad Gita and most of the things. It makes it very interesting that we will go with that. Welcome once again. We will commence the proceedings for the day. Om Shri Gurubhyo Parama Gurubhyo Srimatananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padacharyobhyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Sthiti Tolayan Niyati Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibuddha Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Vipralimba Viparita Mati Prabodhan Vadan Rasya Kritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Manandatirtha Munivarim Namami Pujyaya Rahavendraya Satya Dharmarataya Cha Pajatam Kalpavrikshaya Namatam Kamadenuvem Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahaihi Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vishvidavahaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome friends. I think we are into the almost the penultimate mantras of the second Valli. We had 6 Vallis in Kathopanishad. First Valli we have completed quite early, where the Nachiketa was asking 3 questions to Yama, and Yama has answered 2 of the questions. Third question was a very philosophical question as to whether there is an existence of the soul. If the soul is existing, what happens after the body passes away? This is what he has asked. For that, because the Yama is giving a very detailed explanation, he is not giving a direct answer. But then he is giving all the, because it doesn't have any direct answer. It is more of an experience one has to undergo than it can be expressed in the form of an answer. That's why the Yama builds up, because basically we always have 2 type of thoughts coming to us. One is taking to us delectable, electable, the highest, the power, which we are, which we are not aware of it. We are divinity personified. We are happiness personified. But we do not, consider ourselves to be happy, because we are entangled in this world and we consider ourselves to be unhappy, sorrowful, and we do have problem, obstacles. Every day, it goes on and off. That's why he brings the concept slowly and how we have to get ourselves to the real nature of our own soul. Our own soul never gets affected by any of those things. That is why now he is trying to give the final answer is you should know the Pranava. By understanding the Pranava, the greatness of the Pranava, the primordial vibration, which has the originated even before the origin of the world, which is representing the entire Brahman, whatever Brahman you call it, Nirguna Brahman as in Advaita, Saguna Brahman in Bhakti school, whatever Brahman you would call it, it is all represented by the Pranava Om. Once you understand the Om, then you will be able to understand. How will you be able to understand? By body, mind and intellect, by discussion, by logic and all, you will not be able to understand. It is by pure Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana, by understanding yourself. Only when you are able to understand yourself as to who you are, then you will be able to, that is, you get a Swarupa Jnana. What is your Swarupa? Your Swarupa is a blissful, happy. You are always, enjoyable person. But then, you are not able to understand your own Swarupa. That's why, you are getting, all this entanglement in this world. If I might explain with a small explanation, as to a small example, if I might to give, what happens is every day when we get up in the morning, because we just leave everything in the night, have a good sleep. Mostly we try to have a good sleep, sometimes disturbed sleep, but then next morning we get up, again looking for a fresh day, with all those things. The morning once you start getting up and do that, slowly, your mind gets lot of, it gets thoughts keep coming in, some information start coming in, your messages are from mobile, someone gives you a ring, so many things, your mind gets entangled, with all these things, trying to work out what it is and all. It is like the cloth what we are wearing. So when you wear the cloth in the morning and you go out, do all those things, during the day it gets sullied, it gets crumpled, crumpled. Finally, next day you will have to wash the clothes. Same thing happens to our mind. So many thoughts bombard, so many things we think about, something which is not relevant, something which is relevant, something we imagine, what is likely to, because something is futuristic, something is guided by our past experience. When the fellow said the same thing 10 years before, same thing, he is telling now. So it may happen like this. All those things, even in your own day-to-day affairs, Today I will have to get the things, procurement, I will have to get the groceries. So many things bothers you and all. All these things, what happens, your mind is a pristine, pure. It is like a lake. It doesn't have any waves. Slowly it starts getting all the waves. You have plethora of waves. You don't know, because which one to attempt and which one, you will have to give importance and all. You just react to every thought. That's how it happens. So it is like the cloth what you are having, because every day when you go out and do the work, it gets crumpled and it gets soiled. And finally you will have to wash the next day. So the meditation and all what we do is like washing our clothes. So when you put it in a washing machine and wet, the crimple doesn't go off. And again, even after drying it comes, you will have to press it. So press it, when you press it and bring it into a shape, what happens, when it is crimpled, it will have all sorts of wrinkles all around. It doesn't have any direction. Our day-to-day life is like that. You've got so many thoughts taking you everywhere, but you don't know where to go, nowhere to go. But because you are not, you lost into the world. You are not able to come back to your own self. That's what it happens. So when it happens, finally when you do something like a meditation, or when you give even anything, just try to think about it. Now, what am I doing? What is important? Which I will have to focus, which is of immediate importance. Today you will have to file a form. It is the last day. Then you will have to focus on that. Forget about all other things. You will have to totally focus on that. Do it, because then you can't take any sort of a room for error. You will have to do it. It does have implications. You will have to work on that. You will have to focus at that moment. Like once you try to focus and give all your attention, taking away all other cobwebs that is gobbling you throughout the day, then you will get it. It's like washing the clothes. The wrinkles slowly will go off. Even after washing, the wrinkles will still be there. Then you will have to press it. So when press it, what happens? When it press it, because we are very happy to wear a pressed cloth, because it looks, we also look smart and it also gives us some pleasant feeling. We are presentable to ourselves, to others. That's what happens. When that happens, you also do, all the wrinkles are taken away, but then you've got certain wrinkles, like, your pressed ones, they are all pointing to one direction. They are not different direction. It's pressed, it's being top to bottom, you do it, your sleeves are pressed, everything and all. That means your focus is brought to one particular activity. That one particular activity, when you give full attention, that is the Nitidhyasana, you can call it. That is the Manana. When you are able to focus onto that, you forget all other things. You are able to bring your mind to a particular activity. And then when you are able to excel in what you are doing it to the perfection, that is where the divinity happens. The divinity is nothing but what we are able to do everything excellently every day to the best of perfection, what we can do. And finally, we get the best out of that, not only for us, even for others. That's what. Otherwise, if you are not able to focus on anything, everything comes, you go on wandering in the day and all, it is like a wrinkled cloth. Your mind is taken away and all. That is why, it is said, because it is soul always tries to help you. Soul is permanent. It is always blissful. It is always happy. But the mind, which is, again, they are part of us, but it is not in the part of the body. Brain is part of the body, as I explained last week. But mind is not of the body. But mind is part of the Sushma Sarira. It is a subtle body which controls all the activities. When we talk about chakras in the body, chakras are not in the body. You have got glands in the body. You have got thyroid gland, you've got you've got the pancreas, everything is there, but the switch is there in the subtle body. That is chakra. When you do a chakra meditation, you are affect everything to the glands through the Sushma Sarira, subtle body. The meditation through chakra gives the effect onto your glands. So your glands work perfectly. That is why, the chakra meditation and all is supposed to be helping you to ward off as well as get cured from so many diseases and all. So likewise, because when every day the attention goes off, we are getting lost into that. That is why last mantra when we saw, it was the mantra 1.2.8, in your page 55. It is exactly the same mantra which is there in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita in Sankhya Yoga. It is the 20th mantra in the second chapter. It is the 18th mantra in Kathopanishad. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschin nayam kutaschinna babuva kaschit. This is what the mantra we have seen. One said, Na jayate mriyate. One doesn't have a birth, one doesn't have a death. That is the soul. The soul doesn't have a birth or death. It is always there. It has taken this body as a cloth. So when it has come, it is having all the blissful, happy disposition. But we are not able to get the disposition because we are entangled into this world. We are not able to understand who we are. The very purpose of studying and knowing the Upanishad, our scriptures, is to understand who we are, so that how best we can be living in this world and try to understand ourselves. You cannot simply be, go away from the world and try to understand. You have to live in this world. You will have to do the action. Because it's not to take a retirement and go somewhere in Himalayas and do it. That is no use at all. Because in this world only you have to take the experience. When you are trying to get the experience, you have to understand, whatever happens, even when you are trying to, someone is talking ill of you, someone is glorifying you, either way, if you are taken in, that is then you are getting into the ways of the world. But you are able to understand, look, these are all happening in the world. Today someone is, glorifying you. Tomorrow the same person may say something different to you if it doesn't meet his purpose. The world is fleeting, ephemeral. Everyone is purposive. The world is purpose. We are all purposive animals. But animals have only a limited purpose to the extent of filling their stomach as well as filling their instinct, satisfying their instinct. But we don't have like that. We have beyond, we have got a purpose beyond our needs. That's why when Mahatma Gandhi said the world can offer everything what you need, but it can't meet your greed. But for us, we have got so many things. I will have to get, I will have to get beyond what I need it, because it is required for my family, future generations, or my organization. Likewise, we are working on that. But when you are focusing only at that point of time, whatever you do, the rest of the things will automatically come to you. Even, whatever is required for you, they will all come provided you focus on at that point of time what is required to be done, the most important thing. And all. That's why, there used to be a proverb. What is the most important thing in this world? Right away, right in front of you, whatever you have to do. If you are thirsty, you will have to immediately take a glass of water. That is important. Not that, you will go to send someone to the shop and get a Fanta orange or something like that. But immediately you will have to satisfy your thirst. Even if you are somewhere in the dhaba, you will have to get water and take it. That is important. Because in the heat, you will have to satisfy the quench as well as to face the heat. That is important. Likewise, what is the most important person in the world? You may have a big family, you may have a surroundings, you may have all influential people known to you everywhere and all. The most important things, if you are in a railway platform, your ticket is waitlisted. The most important person is the ticket collector or the person who is trying to get the confirmation of your ticket. He is the most important person. You cannot be thinking of all other things. Likewise, whatever is important, you will have to do at that point of time, focusing. And what is the most important time in the world? The time important right now, here. You don't know, because it's not that, I will do it, because I know this has to be done properly and I will do it tomorrow, day after. Procrastination. That should not happen. Because he brings all these concepts in Sankhya Yoga. That's why he says, propels Arjuna. Arjuna is, let us understand, he is a warrior of the topmost class. He is the highly accomplished warrior. His focus is unparalleled. Otherwise, he could not have achieved. Despite that, he is wobbling in the sense, it is always, the mind is always taken into various things when it is, becoming just susceptible to the ways of the world. Something, which you are having a desire, and when you are trying to fulfill that desire, because you have got a fulfilled desire, what happens, these are all my close people. I will have to protect them. These fellows are not my close people. Kauravas, they have done a lot of harm to me. I will have to finish them off. But you can't have, in the war, you will have to want whoever has arrived, because whoever is there, you cannot be thinking about it. Like standing in the sea and looking at the waves and trying to judge the waves. The waves are not going to wait for you. They will come one after the other in a fusile. If you are trying to sort of know, and as well as, try to analyze the waves, you will be washed off in the sea. That cannot happen at all. But you will have to act. This is exactly what he says. Na jayate mriyate va vipaschin. Vipaschin is the one who is wise. He knows he will have to act right now. And the soul is permanent. And then, you should not be getting affected by, whatever is happening, because that, you cannot be holding on to some misfortune and hold on to look, how it happened, why it happened, when it has not happened to all others, why I only have to happen, I only have to get this, all those things, forget about it. It has come, you have gained experience, because you will be much wiser, you will deal with it much effectively. Not only that, you will overcome whatever you feel it as a misfortune. For that, you need the clarity of thought. The clarity of the thought will come only when you focus. This is what exactly. It is not that, something, you go on holding on to something and all. Likewise, you will have to be a running water like a stream, the Ganges, you will have to flow, gather the energy, and as well as to distribute the energy all over both the banks, so that, the entire area flourishes, you go with your own purpose. So we should have a great purpose. That is a great purpose. Instead of that, holding on to some small check dam and, piling yourself, that should not happen. This is what exactly it says. And then it also says, Ajo Nityaha Shashvatoyam Purano, because we are all, Ajo, because as the Almighty, the Brahman is Ajo, it's unborn. Because when it is unborn, there is no death. Only who is born, there is a death. Therefore, once you know him, he is unborn and he is taking care of you. He is pervading you. Vivishti iti Vishnuhu, because he has pervaded, he has gone into you. He is the one inside every one of you. Whether Nirguna Brahman, Saguna Brahman, whether you call it Vishnu or Shiva, Shiva is the highest bliss. The soul is the embodiment of the highest bliss. Shivam in the sense unsullied bliss. There is no taint in that. Such a bliss. When you have that bliss, you are that. When you are having that, Paramatma within you, why should you be doing all these things? Even nothing. Nothing is a misfortune. It is also at that point of time, the conditions in which you are in, the thoughts you have undergone at that point of time, they have given you this particular thought, feeling that you have undergone a misfortune. And it's not so. You will be able to come out. For that, you need the clarity of thought. That is why, he is pumping in all these concepts. Same mantra has come as it is in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 20th mantra. Only change, that Krishna has made in that is, instead of Vipaschin, he said Kaschin. That's what he said. In the sense, the soul is permanent. Don't worry about that. You are not the one who is going to kill. You are nobody to kill. The soul cannot be, even whether you are opponent and all, his soul is also permanent. You are only to kill the body if at all you are going to kill. You can also be killed. That's what he says, Arjuna. It's not that you alone can kill everyone and all. Others can also kill you. You are also susceptible to be killed. Don't think like that. So therefore he brings in, that you will have to go on doing the duty. And what happens is not in your hands. So next mantra, we will go and see, because this gives a great concept. Apparently this mantra appears to be reconfirming whatever discussed earlier in the mantra number 1.2.18, but it has got the greatest concept behind that. That we will understand. Once we understand that, the life will be only a sort of unlimited joy. In the corporates, they are all limited by the shares and all, but we will be a soul unlimited. We don't have anything to worry about, anything called sorrow in our life at all, once we understand this concept. The next mantra says that it is mantra number 1.2.19. The same mantra is appearing in Bhagavad Gita also. Same mantra, 2nd chapter, 19th mantra of Bhagavad Gita. It is same mantra, in fact, almost exactly word to word same, only little different in presentation. The mantra in 1.2.1 is page number 56. Hanta chet manyante hantum. The one who thinks he is killing, he thinks he is killing. And he is happy with that. Che manyante, if the killer thinks that he kills, hata che manyante hatam, the one who is getting killed, he also feels he is getting killed and all, both. Ubau tau, both of you. So, na vijaniti, nayam hanti, na hanyati. Both of you don't know. Neither you are killing nor you are getting killed. That thing is possible. This is what exactly that mantra also said. In fact, Bhagavad Gita says, in the same and more simply, ya enam veti hantaram, yas cha enam manyate hatam, ubauto na vijaniti, nayam hanti na anyate. Because it is a simple word. What is that, because we are not getting killed, nor we are killing, we are incapable of killing and all. Why it has been? It is a metaphor. It is not actually killing and all, it's the facing life. And the facing life, the most important thing is it says you think you are killing or you are doing some action. And the other person thinks something is acted upon and he is getting killed and all. Both are wrong. In the sense, you are assuming the doership as if you are the one who is doing it. And the other person also think he is acted upon. So he is getting because he is being acted upon and he is getting the effect of the action. He is also participating in the action of being killed and all. Both are wrong. That is what he says. Because you are not the doer. You may be doing so many activities in a day, but you are not the doer. What is the doer then? Body, mind, and intellect, is telling us. Intellect is giving us the discrimination to do. You will have to do. You will have to file a form. You will have to file an appeal, or you will have to go to the court. Everything, because we decide based upon whatever the knowledge we have accumulated and whatever advice that has been given to us by the experts like lawyers, or even the chartered accountants give the advice, or the doctor gives advice for getting the surgery done, or the cure, how to take the cure for the disease and all. When all these things are done by, they are all giving the advice that is being acted upon. But how it happens? What happens to us? How can we explain what is happening? Something good or bad or not? When you don't expect something, you get to the highest position. In fact, in a year, you never know, suddenly you earn so much of money, which you never might not have expected. It happens to everyone. Maybe a position, which we might not have thought we may never be able to get, we may be getting the position. You may be joining the board. It all happens, you think, I have done, I went this, I worked for that, and all these things I may think. Does it happen like that? Never. Naham karta, hari karta, because that's what, the concept we learn to understand. In the sense, it happens is it God doing? God is not doing it all. God is enabling you to do. He is giving you the skill. He gives you the knowledge. He is giving you the ability to see. Why we are telling, is it, we all of us are seeing what is that great ability to see. Let us remember Avayar, the very famous, the song we said, Aridaridu Manidara Perathalaridu, Manidara Pirandakalam, Kun Kurudu Sevidu Pedining in Perathalaridu. Look, we have been given the faculty right. Eyes are working, because we are not blind, we have got the hearing, we are not dumb. That is a great thing. Durlabam Manushya Janmanam and Shankaracharya, Viveka Chodamani says, to become a human being is the greatest gift God has given, because you will be able to accumulate that too with all the faculties intact, working. That is a great, because that's what Avaya says. Aridaridu Manidara Pirathalaridu Pirandagalam Kunkurudu Sevidi Pediningi Pirathalaridu. So once you have come into this, when you are having that, so he is the one who is able to speak, because your eyes don't discriminate. It sees everything and all. But your intellect, the mind, it discriminates and tells us, you absorb, you get the knowledge from here. You read these books, you go to the library and take these books, and you do that. You don't go and waste your time on these activities. All the intellect tells us. All this intellect, how it says, it is all our Chetana. Our Chetana, where it has come? From our Vasanas. What we have accumulated over years of, whatever the prarabdha karma, what we say is, that is working on. You are exhausting all your prarabdha karmas. Whatever happens in this world, you think you are doing it. It is not you doing it. It is the vasanas that is working. And the God is enabling you to exhaust all your prarabdha karmas in this birth. And he is also trying to give you, don't accumulate any more karmas, so that, you finally get the liberation. Because prarabdha karma, one has to exhaust. Even if it is a sannyasi, he has to exhaust the prarabdha karma in this birth. We might have seen, because sometimes the unfortunate events happens even to sannyasis. Some people, because we have seen, how someone is getting arrested, someone is getting into the legal tangle and all those things. It's all prarabdha karma. Is it that, it's not that, it is anything. You'll have to go through that. You'll have to exhaust that. The God enables us to do that. But the God is like, once you have the God awareness in us, once you see, because we are all getting it done, whatever is to be done, acted upon, because it is the ego of ours, feels that we are acting. But basically it is not that. Because we have all of us have got the three gunas, sattva, rajasa and tamasa. It is there always with all of us. None of us are, it's not the sannyasi means he has got only sattva guna always. He will also have rajasa. he will also have tamasa. But the percentage of sattva will be higher. So if it is 100, the sannyasis, who are all clicking like, because the Mahaparival and all, he must be having 99% sattva. Because he also will have to rajasa, because he has to administer, because he can't accept every nonsense, what people are telling. He will have to do that. And he also have to work on, the people around you, they are all acting properly and all. It is a management, that's also there and all. But whereas people like us, we may have 40% sattva, 40% rajasa and 20% tamasa and all. It's not the percentage. And finally, what we do, the meditation and all these things, whatever we do, enhances our sattva component in us. More you have a sattva component in us, you will feel you will focus on whatever it is done. You will be simply be doing, it's all ordained by the Almighty. Let me do my best. Whatever comes, I will have to take it and accept it. I can't go on, wrangling, why it has not happened to me. I did everything right. That itself is a ego. When you think, you did everything right, how can you say you were right? Because someone must have done much better than someone else. So because it has happened means it gives you, you have to learn the lessons from the experience. That is what the life. How you exhaust the prarabdha karma. When comes, something good comes, you learn the experience as well as try to be even-minded, equipoised. Don't get in, jump with the joy and go out of the fulcrum. As well as when something misfortune happens, don't dive into the depression. Try to be, because try to find what is this, because this experience happened, maybe something has gone wrong. Maybe, we should have done like that. And once you have, how will you be able to have? Because when you don't have likes and dislikes, when you don't have raga, dvesha, kama, moha, mada, mascharya, all those things when you don't have. But as a human being, we will all be having it. If he says, if I don't have a like or dislike and all, this only, in the, what we call, the cadaver, only the bodiless, the lifeless body only will not be having likes and dislikes. We as a human being, we will have it. What we will have to do is, we will just wash it off, because something might have appeared to be likable, something might have been disliked and all. Just don't give importance to that. See, for instance, because in north, when we were doing, there is one particular vegetable in, it will be available only in summer. Two vegetables used to be available in summer, because some of us may be knowing who have lived in north. Parval and tinda, the only two vegetables will be available. Rest of them will not be available. Both are, we will not be able to take that, those, we are having a South Indian tongue, we will not be able to take that. But if you go, because somewhere else, you travel, go to Delhi or go to your friend's place, but they all like that. They say, parval, you may not be liking it. They said, for you, we have got a beautiful parval from Allahabad. For you, we have brought all the way, and they might have brought it for you, which you don't like, follows you wherever you go there. You go faster, it follows you faster. He has brought parval all the way from Allahabad, though you don't like it, and he doesn't know because they like it. Okay, you have developed a dislike. But once you try to take whatever who gives, with affinity and friendship and with love, you'll have to take it. There is no like or dislike and all. After all, it is a food. Everyone is taking it. I should also be taking it and all. I may be liking a particular South Indian sweet, and I may not be getting it in Delhi. And I will have to take, whatever is available there and do it like that. Likewise, once you just, take away the component of likes and dislikes and take to the practical aspect of taking everything with equanimity, you will not have any problem. But if you have this, all these things, you will go on be wobbling into why it has happened, why it should not have happened. So many things, because you will not be able to explain so many miseries in the world. There are so many miseries in the world, you cannot be explained only because you assume the doership of yourself. But you are not the doer, something happens because of the vasanas. It all happens and all. This doership, that is what, he says. It is like, because when we are sitting in the train, let us take in the railway station, when you are a static train, which is standing in the platform, we are sitting in. The other side, another train is also standing. Suddenly, when the other train moves, you feel, your train is moving. All of us would have experienced. When it moves, you feel, other is moving. But actually, you are not moving. The other train is moving. So whatever happens in the world is like that. You are sitting here, you are doing with the focus on that. Whatever happens because of the vasanas. But once you assume, because my train is moving, I am moving the train, in the sense, the entire problem. Only, because we all know our train is not moving physically, but we think, we are moving. It is a sort of example that is given to understand we are not the doer in any any point of the time in our lifetime. But we think, I have done this, I have managed this, but, I did this, somehow it didn't happen, because that worries me and all. Yeah, you are not the doer. Why do you worry? And when something happens, also, you can't take the credit, because it all happened because so many things, because the things must have fallen in place. So many other people might have worked for you and all. You just happen to be in this time. The grace of the God, what we talk about, only one. The grace of the God can be understood by only one experience, when we are at the right place at the right time, when the right thing happens to us. He has brought us at the right place at the right time. Otherwise, it would not have happened. You might have met the right person, who must have guided you to take a particular decision. It is because of the God's grace. It might not have happened to everyone. It might not have happened till the extra day. It must have happened to you today. That is God's grace. You cannot, why it has happened. God's grace comes, how it comes. More you are able to focus, more you are able to do, let me do it, let me understand it, let us go on continuous improvement. So when you are trying to have the continuous improvement in the life, then, it is what is this Keynes, because what they call it, the Japanese language. This continuous improvement is the small improvement that takes place. Once you take focus on that, so you will not be bothered about, because why, it has happened like that. You will only be focusing on how to do better next time. Likewise, you will be going on doing it and all. So once you do that, once you try to have the skill and all, once the awareness is there, because something is happening, more I put into my mind, more I put into and take away the likes and dislikes, it will happen. More you become desireless, more you are free from likes and dislikes, the God's grace comes to you automatically. Why we say, we should not have likes, dislikes. All of us are still having it. It's not that we have completely be devoid of likes and dislikes. Likes, dislikes, everything, because why desirelessness things, and why we should not be desireless. The God has given you everything in the world for you to enjoy. We should not be desiring and do it. But then once you know that, because what is the purpose behind that? Is it of any continuous additional value to you? Will you be able to get anything, or will you be able to merge with what you are experiencing? Will not be. Because you've got a great purpose. The purpose will become more higher. They become nobler. As you go, become that, once you being, because once you get into you add the marks, into your sheet. Once you are coming closer to 38 or so, 40 is the pass mark. God will grace you, give you the grace of 2 marks and take you out. Therefore, it's a continuous improvement. And once you do that, what happens, you become a sattvic, the proportion of sattvic quality comes in us. We are very kind, compassionate, we desist from, talking all hot words, we are talking very sweetly. We are trying to assuage the feeling of others. Because once this feeling comes to us, that we are sitting in the static train only, the other train which is moving, that is the vasanas which you have carried, all that. And our job is to be here and, they complete the journey. So when you can't, because why you can't have you can have a goal in life. The goal in life is giving you some sort of inspiration to work for that. That will be there. But the goalpost will have to be continuously be shifted. You cannot hold on to that. Say, I want to get 1 crore rupees, in this lifetime. That's good enough. After reaching 1 crore, what is that? You will sit idle. Or, I want to go and have a place in, say, Himalayas, and I will be spending rest of the time there. You have a place and go there, and that's not the thing. Finally, you will have to see what best you have to go. You will have to focus on what are all the things that is immediately available in front of you. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanudharaha Tasasri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvanitir Matirmama. The last verse of the Bhagavad Gita, when he finally says, Sanjaya says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanudharaha Tatrasri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvanitir Matirmama. What is that? Where the effort, the excellence, so focus is there. When Krishna is there, When Krishna is there and he is giving you the strength, he is giving you the grace, he is giving you the wherewithal. Once you focus, you will be enjoying, because the journey. It is not the end. You are not going to stop at an end and procrastinate. You will have to continuously have the journey, because the journey, the bliss is there in the journey. It's not sitting idle and all. The happiness is there in the journey. When you are able to share, care, as well as understand, learn, that is the life. That is why it is life is a sort of action. It is not a retirement. Even Bhagavad Gita, the Parthasarthi used to say, it is not a retirement plan. It is a blueprint for action. So you cannot sit idle and you will have to go about that. Our scriptures also say, Upanishad is something, after 60, when your eyesight is weak, when your hearing power goes off and, get into the Upanishad and do it, that's what, possibly we are perforce, doing it, because of our way of living and all. But then these concepts, in the younger age itself, someone as God, they would have understood. He would have understood, he would have found, the very blissful way to live. He knows what is the reality. Reality is the final bliss is in the journey. And when you are getting the grace of the God, when you are having the awareness of your own true nature, Swarupa Jnana, when you have the Swarupa Jnana only, when you will be able to get the higher. So the doership, it is basically when she say hante che manyate hantum hata che manyate hataha, in the sense no one can be killed nor you can kill anyone, in the sense you are not the doer in any case. Why do you worry? You can't kill anyone nor you can be killed, in the sense you are not the doer. The doer is your vasanas. Your vasanas what you accumulated over the period of time. The Brahman enables you to exhaust your prarabdha, all the prarabdha karmas in this birth, and as well as not to accumulate any more karmas, so that you don't have to get one more birth. But if you want to indulge in this world, God has created everything for me. I have been created by the God. It is a Charavaka philosophy. Even the people like Spinoza, they have said like that. When God has created everything, he has not created that, it has to be left idle. It has to be enjoyed by everyone and all. Do it. But then when you are doing everything and all, even then philosophy also, one thing they say in the Western world, don't do anything which you yourself would not like to get. That means you will have to live with the ambit of, the entire dharma. So when you are living within the codes, the code of conduct, and when you are living with that, then you will be living a dharmic life, because you will be enjoying the world as well as you will not be enjoying at the cost of someone else. As a famous, I have been repeatedly quoting about the Western philosopher Immanuel Kant. He said, consider every human being a full-fledged entity themselves. Don't treat them as a means. So every person who comes across to you, he is the divine personified, like you. Almost he is, because you may be having a different capacity, capability and all. He may be having a different capacity and capability which we don't understand. You think, you are only having a problem, other person doesn't have a problem. He may be fighting his own battle. Likewise, all of us are equal. Divine law of equality is there everywhere. Once you understand, there is no higher, there is no lower and all. The universal brotherhood, that is what is being brought about, in the Upanishad. Once you consider that, there is no question of, everyone is a brother, and first you is brother, and afterwards he is almost like you. He is having he is having the same qualities like you. He is having the same problems like you. He is having the same happiness to you, irrespective of the status. Because you may be some king or mighty monarch, and other may be a peevish beggar. A person may be a CEO of a big organization. Another person may be working in some small stature in another. It doesn't no difference between whatever it. Once you understand, everyone is doing what is best, what they can at that point of time. They are having their journey. You are having your journey. You enjoy your journey. Let him enjoy his journey. So there is no in the journey. It is all same. If you are able to enjoy the journey, you are the highest spiritually. If the person who doesn't have so much of a resources, even if he is able to enjoy every moment of his life, that is the highest spiritual quality in him. That is what this mantra comes. Though it apparently says, even if you are killed or if you are killed someone, neither of them are true. Because you are not the doer. Basically taking away that I am doing is basically killing the ego. The entire problem happens, we are not able to give up the ego, because we are identifying along with the body as along, because right from our childhood, we are not able to give up that habit. But once you understand, it is not that you give up that habit and be submissive to everyone and all. You will be able to discriminate if power is there and all. Wherever you will have to exhibit and employ your skill, do it. Wherever you don't have to, you don't have any need to, don't do that. You simply be focused on what is there in front of you and all. So many people, you may be not be in a particular business, but someone is doing in the business, you don't have to unnecessarily dabble in that business because you don't have any knowledge, you don't have any wherewithal. If you think it is your goal, then try to go from the scratch, try to understand from it, try to do it as excellent as possible. So you will have to do everything, and you will have to manage, you will have to give, the punish the person, and you don't have to punish, at least, you have to reward the right employees. You will have to set up, to give right advice to the person who needs improvement. All those decisions you will have to take. It is not that, you will have to be a sort of a submissive person all through the world. You employ, but with the appropriate skill, without likes and dislike. Don't have an agenda in your mind. Without agenda, you work everywhere. That is what the spirituality is. There is no agenda whatsoever. But we will be enjoying the journey. We will not be bothered because automatically it will come. Once you do that, whatever you need, whatever you require, not that as you think, but whatever is required for you will be given to you. That is why Isavashyam idagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena, whatever he has given, the power, primordial power, whatever he has given to you, you savor it. Look, this is what, that means you have to express gratitude every moment to whatever we have got in this world. We will have to become more deserving to what we have got in this world. It is not that we are deserving, so it has come to us. Well, certainly we are deserving, otherwise it would not have come to us. But we have to continue to be deserving to have these things. That is why we have to express the gratitude. Even, when we take the food, Annadata Sukhi Bhavato, when you do it, because always some prachanam and all, when you do it, finally we get up, what you say, Annadata Sukhi Bhavatu. Annadata Sukhi Bhavatu is not only to the person who is feeding you, even the person who is growing the grain in his field. He is working day and night. And he is watering, he is putting the fertilizers, and the people have brought that grain to the market. From there it has come to you. So many all others, your wife or the house, they have all cooked it for you. You will have to be grateful to everyone. It is not that, Annadata Sukhi Bhavatu is not only that to the person who has the resources and feeds you. It goes to everyone. In North, there is a proverb, Daan Daan mein likha hai khane wale ka naam. See, every grain, the name of the person who is going to take is written. That's what they say. That means the God has given such a grace, what you have to eat has already been ordained by him. It comes to you and you are eating it. So you have to be grateful to all these people. They expressing the gratitude, the highest form of receivership, in the sense receiving the God's grace. More you express gratitude to everyone, the God will give you more. The God's grace will come to you automatically. This is the concept. Finally, with that, what happens is you become compassionate, humble. You don't have any, because so slowly the ego part goes off, and the sattva component of our thinking, attitude, and everything grows up. But certainly, because more it grows, more we will be getting the grace, and the life will be happier. The next mantra we will go for that 1.2.20. That is again one of the wonderful mantras. We will try to express the cursory meaning of it. The detailed meaning, perhaps we may have to take it in the next class. In your page number 57, it is there. This mantra is Anor Aniyon Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. Anor Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan, in the sense, the soul is like an anu, atom. But he, Aniyan, subtler than atom, like subatomic particle. If we are like an atom, he is subatomic particle. Subatomic particles, there is electron, photon, and so many other gigatrons, so many things are there in them. So he is one of those things. So now the quantum physics, the concept is even atom is a form of energy. The 0.001% is, whatever called this atom and is the components and all. Rest of it is all photons, energy. Because the Einstein's theory of relativity, finally it says everything is in the form of energy. We as human being, we are only 0.01% as the material body, because this what we are seeing ourselves in the mirror. We are 99.9% of energy. What is that energy? Thoughts are energy. Whatever thought, your mind creates so many thoughts, millions of thoughts. You are almost getting 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts. Even a lack of thoughts comes in a mind per day, because you are energy of that. So when you are discarding all the unwanted thoughts and focusing on whatever you have to do, you are gathering energy. You are becoming energy personified. So when you are energized, the entire effervescence will be there. You will be resplendent. You will be able to communicate. You will be able to contribute to the whole world, to yourself, and to the work which you are doing. You will be able to give the best. Excel in everything, whatever you're doing. Excel in the work, what you are doing. Excel in the relationship, what you are having. Excel in your attitude towards others. Everything will come. That is what we want to achieve. That's what the greatest gift what we can get from the God in this life. Aniron Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He is the biggest of the biggest. Because with when Vishwarupa, when we take Vishwarupa Darshanam, when we say every mayor and all, and even when you see the portrait of Vishwarupa, all of us are in that, in a small, not even a speck. We may not be found. In the entire whole world is the entire cosmos is there. All the galaxies are into him. He is folding. Chet Achet, everything is into him. He is the master of everything. Mahato Mahiyan. So that is Na Atmasya Janto Nihato Guhayam. Apart from that, he is so big. He is subtler than atom. In spite of it, he has chosen to be a part of every being, every creature. Not only as Chet Achet. Like even the, because the inanimate objects, everything, insentient objects, he is part of it. He is there, his presence is there. He is giving you the energy to exhaust whatever your thoughts are ordained to do. To exhaust all your vasanas. To exhaust what you want to do in this world, and the entire strength comes from him. He is the battery, he is the power giver to you. And he is taking care of you. And he has put you in this body so that you get the experience. Just because you are a soul and this is the body, you will have to take care of the body as well. That's what Vivekananda says. If you are purchasing a car, because the body is like a car. And the gas, because the gasoline, is the power, which gives to you and all. You fill the gasoline, gasoline is the Brahman who is the power, but you have to look after the car, you maintain the car. You have to service it. Likewise, you have to look after your body itself. It's not you neglect your body and all. Have a wonderful body so that your experience is wonderful. At the same time, you go beyond the body, mind and intellect. How is that? You can't do both these things. It's all contradict. No other religion says that. Why only Sanatana Dharma this concept has come? Long before, I have given an example. Even Amarnath may remember me a lot. It is like a pole vault. You have to gather in the sense. Pole vault, every time, when the Russian used to be the continuous champion for a long time. Even now, another Russian has taken over him because he is the champion there and all. When you take a pole vault, you will take a long pole. The long pole is, whatever you have to gain in this world. The experience, the spiritual knowledge, and the finally your the discriminating power, the increasing the sattva component, everything is the biggest pole. What you do with the pole when you're doing a pole vault? You just run fast. Running fast is as you go in this world, running fast. Take that pole with whatever you gained other than put it in the keg. There is an iron keg in the sun. Put it and the pole takes you to the highest level, where you have to cross the bar. When you are crossing the bar, you will leave the pole. You will not be holding on to all the experiences, knowledge and other things, because that is the bliss highest. So once you have got into that, you are going to go and cross the pole, you need all these things. Longer the pole, you will be able to clear the higher the pole vault. It is like a pole vault. For that, because the entire life experience is to cross the bar. Not that there is a goal and you will have to go and peg there and all. You are not going to stay there. You will have to cross the bar and get into the other side. Where is the other side? Apare, as this Upanishad has said, that is where Vaikunta or Kailasha, whatever is there. That is the Swarga. Where he is there, you are reaching his abode. That is fullest bliss. But at that point of time, all these things enables you to reach there. But then, you will have to leave all other things. That means you will not have any desire. You will not have to run in the world, as you are running, towards the pole vault. And you will have to hold on all to the knowledge and all, because, you will have to face the world and gain the experience and other things and all. But once you put it and cross the bar, then these things are no longer required. Once you get that place, that means you don't have a desireless state. When you have thoughtless state, thoughts are there, but desirelessness is there. Once your desirelessness is there, that is the mumukshotvam. See, that is why in the Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya says there are three things in a human being has to achieve. Manushyatvam, Durlabham Manushyatvam. We have got, as Abhayar has said, Manidaradu Manadara Pirattalaridu. We have become a Manidar. And without any of the defects, all the faculties working. That is the greatest gift God has given. Having come to this, having used this gift, gain the knowledge and have all the scriptures and other things and all, then what you will have to do is mumukshatvam. Mumukshatvam is slowly discriminating. And discriminating in the sense, because it's not renouncing the effects of them. You will be acting in the world. You will not be bothering. You will be trying to focus, give your excellence into everything what you are doing. Even a small act what you are doing, you will try to give excellence. If you are a lawyer, you will try to give the best. And if you are a chartered accountant, you will do the best. If you are a doctor, you will be doing the best to get the cure for that. You will do everything. That is where the divinity is there. You will have to focus on your word. That is the mukshatvam. Once you that, you forget yourself when you are doing it. You are not going to be bothered what fees I am going to get. What am I going to do? That is okay. That is incidental. It will happen. But you will be focusing on that. Then Mahapurushatvam. Manushyatvam, Mokshatvam, Mahapurushatvam. Mahapurushatvam is like Kanchi Shankaracharya, Mahaparivar. So many acharyas who have come. Ramana Maharishi. So many people who have come and all. Ramana Maharishi, have you seen him in any opulent? He was always there and all. He was always available. And he was always smiling, compassionate. He was doing everything and all. And likewise, because there are so many other, the great masters were there and all. In the up north were there, in the south were there and all. Like Vivekananda. Vivekananda, when he said, because whatever he said, he has never kept anything to himself. Be it the knowledge or possessions, everything, finally he gave it to everything and all. It is like that. At that point of time, because you have crossed the pole vault. For you, because you are highest bliss, these things doesn't matter, doesn't have any meaning to you. And that is the highest you will have to achieve. This is for Viveka Chudamani, the highest, the magnum opus of Advaita philosophy. He says, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurushatvam. Same thing has been said by all the Ramanujacharya also, the Madhvacharya also. Then finally we say surrender. Surrender in the sense, you will have to give up everything, to him, because you do. Whatever happens, it makes you happen as you would need. That's why, because we have got the famous, the Sotra, Ananyan Chintayanto Mam Yajana Paryupasate Tesham Nityabi Yuktanam Yogakshemam Mahameham. Ananyan Chintayanto, you don't worry about anything and all. Chintayanto means, you be focusing only on the God in the form of doing whatever you are doing at that point of time. Give your excellence everything and all. He is guiding you. You will tell him, even you get into a problem, when you are, even while performing a function, if you are getting into a problem, you think of him, look, let me get the clarity of thought, focus on that. He will give the source of knowledge, where you can get the solution for your problem. Then you go about it. Ananyan Chintayanto Mam Yejana Padyupasate. When you are focusing only on the work, and the work finally, you are not the doer, finally it gets everything done by you. Once you are Chintayanto Mam Yejana Padyupasate. Tesham, for him, Nityabi Uttanam Yogakshemam Mahamya. I will carry the entire fruits. I will carry the fruits of it and I will just make it happen. But let him not, be waiting for expecting the fruits. I will give it. I will tell a small story, before closing. I will just do that. One Mahan, is a Yadavatirtha, because in Tirukovilur, there is a Vrindavan is there, it is called Rahottama Tirtha. Rahottama Tirtha, he had a Sishya called Vedesha Tirtha and Yadava Tirtha. This Yadava Tirtha is the one, who was a businessman, because initially he was a businessman. He was doing all things and finally he took, because his Vedesha Tirtha, his brother has become a sannyasi, he gave up everything and all. He became his disciple. So while one day he was writing this, because there are two incidents, I will tell you both. Because it has one has happened in some part of Tamil Nadu, one has happened in some part of Orissa. So when he was reading this particular mantra, he became, he almost became a sannyasi. He gave up everything, and he was distributing whatever he has earned and all. He was a bidi sannyasi in the sense, he was totally be in the service of the human mind, of human beings. And then he was telling, how can God, Lord is so high, he is so powerful. He has created us, he has created the world, he has given everything and all. So we should not think, Lord should be carrying everything fruits. Yogakshamam Mahameham, in the sense, one of the meaning is he carries everything on his head and brings it to you. The Paramatma, Krishna brings everything to you once you are having these qualities. Because you become so great, Dasana Dasa, he gives it to you like that. So it should not be correct. How can we make Lord to carry on his head? Instead of that, with the red ink, he just struck down that, the Mahamyaham, Dadamyaham, he wrote. He gives it, not carries on his head. Okay, so I should not make the Lord to carry on his head, that entire thing he will bring it. Why should I do it? After all, he is so great, he has given me this body, as Shankaracharya has get. Durlabham Manushya Janmanam he has given, and the Mumukshatvam also by God's grace, I was able to get. Now Mahapurushatvam, let him give if I deserve and all, but let me not, the God be sort of, the loaded with, he should carry on his head. And he put that. And when he went to the temple, there he was finding 3 red marks on the face of the God. He said, because how come, I have just struck down only the word. Why God should have 3 red marks on his face? It was bleeding. He said, look, because when a person attains such a great quality, the God, he said, I will have to give it. I will have to carry it. So he thought, he should not be, he thought God is like us. So he should not be burdened. He doesn't have anything. He is beyond every one of us. You can't bring him, you can't limit him, with as like a human being, like a character. So he can give anything and everything at any point of time. That is why then he again got back and gave the same word, because in his house, his wife was waiting for him to bring some bhiksha. He was doing all these things, he forgot. But by the time when he went to his house, his wife said some young boy came. He carried, all the food materials, including, the ghee and everything has come to my house. He said, you have sent it and all. From where you have sent it and how did you get the money? He asked him. This man understood. Yadav Tirtha, what is that? I didn't send anything and all. How come? Because he has sent that and all. Then, he has understood the word Vahamyaham, what he said. It should be Vahamyaham. He gives it. You don't have to consider him, he will be knowing. He is beyond everything. He is Aja. He is unborn. He doesn't have. He is Vishwarupa. We are all part of it. We think, we have to give it to him. He should not be burdened. We don't think about it. He is beyond everyone. That is what Anor Naniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That concept. Same thing happened in Orissa also. That Brahmin, who was a very devout Brahmin, he thought, I should not be using Mahamyaham, it shouldn't be Dadamyaham. He was a very poor person, and every day he was hardly getting any sort of bhiksha for his house. On that day, it was Raj Jagannath himself has carried the entire bhiksha to his house. He said, because you are a great devotee, you are doing everything with such a focus and concentration. So you are deserving, you are the first one to deserve to get it, and you don't worry about it. Likewise, this is not only we are doers, and finally he is the one finally bestowing in whatever is our need, not our greed. So that is the entire, and it has got 2 more sentences and all. We will cover the full mantra next week. With this, I will try to conclude today. And today we will have a meditation with Usha Suktam. Last week, we had Ratri Suktam, Devi Mahatmyam. We had 2 Ratri Suktam. One is from the Rig Veda and another one is from the Devi Mahatmyam. The Ratri Suktam is to give us, the fear-free psychosis, free from fear psychosis with the full confidence to live in this world at any point of time. Ratri Suktam gave it, and the Usha Suktam is, Usha is supposed to be the sister of Ratri. She is the dawn, the wonderful dawn in the morning, and she gives the effulgent energy to everyone to get through this life with a full bliss and the resplendent nature of everyone. She brightens up every day, not only every soul. So we will be having a sort of a meditation with Usha Suktam immediately after that. Just I will be putting the YouTube on 1 minute.